Hey everyone, it's Todd again. I wanted to talk to you about this time of year, Halloween ish, the whole season. Um, Now, this season, of course, it's been around forever. It's not a definitely not a Christian uh, holiday or in any sense of the word. Um, this time of year was pagan. Even December 25th, the winter solstice is pagan. It was just when the church made its way up into uh, Europe and that they needed basically to use that time of year to usurp the festivities, and that's what they did. Now, it's neither here nor there to us. December 25th. I mean, they say Jesus was born, might have been born, or was born somewhere around April or whatever, and he didn't look like this. He wasn't a big, balding, blue-eyed uh, guy. My family's from northern Scotland, and my great grandmother was a Smith Anderson from the islands of Scotland. So not hard to tell where that bloodline came from with Anderson. I mean, that's about as Norse as you can get. And the LaRue, um, my son actually went all over my oldest boy there, and uh, the LaRue's, our side of the family is from Brittany, France, but I mean, they were all invaders of England with the Norman conquest and all that other stuff. So, anyways, what I wanted to do today is talk to you about this time of year, you know, and what it means to people who follow a slightly different path. Wicca, people call themselves witches and pagans and all that. I know a few of these people, wonderful people, great people. They probably some of the kindest people you'll meet. They're not, you know, they don't tend to yell and scream and dance around and act like fools when people disagree with them. It's simply a disagreement. I mean, it's your opinion. Um, I know many people that proclaim to be Christian that if you don't agree with them, they lose their bloody mind. And so, whenever we're out this time of year doing what it is we do, if we meet other people, best thing to do is just be kind. Listen to them. I mean, you're allowed to disagree with somebody, that's what a conversation is. Sometimes a debate is that way. But, level heads must prevail. It's just the way it is. Kindness has got to be, and don't ever mistake kindness for weakness. It's most certainly is not. Some of the kindest people in the world are professional athletes, whether it's boxers or MMA fighters or martial artists, and that they're the kindest people in the world. I know guys that are professional soldiers, and they're in parts of the military that it's not everyday soldiers. These are some serious individuals, the kindest men in the world, and women. They'd literally take their last dollar and buy somebody hungry a meal. That's the way it is. I mean, so, kindness get you a lot further down the road than anything else. And why I bring this up is I've had a couple of creepy, really sick messages left on my website. And the website is not Paranormal Travel. That's my YouTube channel. My website is my name, toddlarue.com. And, I have my books on there. And these, I do, that's where people send me letters and messages and that. And then I put them up on a blog and I read the letter like I did last night to you folks out there. So it is what it is, and everything's grand. So tonight, I want to do a little different. Tonight, I want to do something a little different. I thought maybe I'd read a chapter or two of my book, The Island. Now, that's coming out here in the next couple weeks. That'll be published next couple weeks. The Wanderer, now I could read The Wanderer, just as easy, but The Wanderer is all set up. It's been published. It's out in the market now. It's more of a suspense thriller. It's about a young boy who has a brain tumor and gets into an accident, and his mom and dad die in the accident. He's raised by his grandparents. The tumor changes in the accident and grows. The reason why this happens is because Michael sustained a brain injury, and the tumor wired the brain together. So he's able to astral project himself now when puberty hits, and he at first somehow is always projected to a house where a serial killer is going to go and murder the family. And he wakes up in terror, and he foresees this. And so that's The Wanderer. Now, the book goes on for almost 100,000 words. I have to look it up. Anyways, that's The Wanderer. But I figured I'd start with The Island. And The Island has got pagans in it, and evil witches and stuff like that. But in no way do I think witches are evil. I mean, people that proclaim to be witches are some of the nicest people I know. Anyways, we'll give The Island a try here, and we'll see what goes on for now. And then I think not tomorrow night, the night after, I am going to have a story, one of my stories from when I was traveling around North America, and we'll do that. We'll have kind of a regular night. All right. So here it is. The Island, a novel by me, Todd LaRue. Chapter 1. Caradon looked into a swirling cauldron. He knew what was coming. He watched as a great army conquered and killed his brothers and sisters in the land of the Franks across the water. Caradon knew his brother, Seamus, was waiting outside the cave for him to tell of what was to come. Caradon wondered how he would tell Seamus. He would have to sail for the great land that lays across the ocean to the west. Seamus, come to me, Caradon said. What do you see? What is to come, brother? Seamus asked. I see great destruction coming to our land. A great army is marching for the shore across the water to the east of our homeland. They have conquered much of this world. Now their sight falls on our land. The men who rule this army have killed many of our brothers and sisters already. We will not survive. It will not happen right away. In a time, the leaders of this army will see the Druids as a threat. When this happens, the time of the Druids will be at an end. Before this time comes, you and others will have to sail to the west. There you will find a great land, Corydon said. I don't want to leave our homeland. I can't leave you alone. What will you do to stop whatever is coming? Seamus asked. Well, brother, I will do what so many of our brothers and sisters have done before me. I will fight, and in the end, the gods will have their way. I will die. There is no avoiding this. The path has been shown to me. My eyes have been shown your path as well, and it is over the water to the west. Corydon told Seamus. The two brothers sat silently in the cave as Corydon had called home for 20 years. Weeks turned into months, the winter fell to spring, and the life that comes with it. Seamus watched his brother as he planted his garden. He knew Corydon was a powerful druid and could see things others were blind to. This time he hoped his older brother was wrong. Soon spring became summer, and Corydon would sit in the sun, his sightless eyes watching the stag in the field. Still, Seamus sat to one side, letting his brother gather different plants for whatever he was working on. One night, a young mother brought her young child, her son, to Corydon. The child was ill with a terrible fever, and Seamus smiled as his brother shuffled out of his cave to see the young mother. "Oh, mother," he said, "let me see the child." Seamus smiled and nodded to the woman who surrendered her child to his blind druid brother. "Oh, here now, what has brought trouble to you, child?" Corydon asked no one. As Seamus and the young mother watched, Corydon walked into his cave, made a broth, stirring different plants into the water. And as the druid felt the broth was ready, Corydon fed some to the child. Then he placed his hand on the child's chest and whispered an incantation. Once this was done, Corydon handed the child back to the young mother. "You are to take some of this with you and give your child one small spoonful at the waking of the day and at the end of the day, until it is all gone. No one else in the family can take any of this, or it will mean his death." "Do you understand, mother?" Corydon warned the young mother. "Yes, Master Druid, I understand, and it will be done as told," the young mother said, and then quickly left the cave. "Will the child live?" Seamus asked. "Yes. The child is lacking some of the earth's goodness. The broth I gave him is made of plants and honey. He will need it all, and I didn't smell any others on her, so I think she is alone. So the child should survive," Corydon said. And time marched on. The summer bled into autumn. The young mother came to the cave with the child, and unlike the first time, he was tottering around. Seamus couldn't believe it was the same child. "I wish to thank the Master Druid. Aiden has never been stronger," the mother told Seamus. "There's no need to thank me, for the sound of the young lad playing is everything I could want," Corydon said as he shuffled out of his cave. When Aiden saw the Druid, he squealed with happiness and tottered forward to Corydon. Seamus smiled as his brother picked up the young child and tickled Aiden under his chubby chin. "Oh my, he's been eating well. That's good. Such a good boy. He will be a happy man and a good companion for someone," Corydon said. Then he put the child down and sat in his rock. Seamus could see a sadness in Corydon's eyes as he set the child down. "I came by to thank you, Master Druid. If there's anything I can do to repay you," the mother asked. "I have all I could want or need. Thank you. Just be kind to your son and bring him once a year so I can see him grow." "I miss the play of children," Corydon said to the mother. "Of course we will come, and thank you again for your kindness." Seamus watched as the mother walked down the mountain again, bouncing Aiden in her arms. Corydon looked at Seamus. "The child will be going with you when you sail to the west." Seamus sat shocked. "The child's mother will not let her Aiden go, brother," Seamus said. "She will give you the child, knowing if Aiden were to stay, he would be killed by the army that now gathers in the land of the Franks. Shamus wanted to ask what kind of army was coming that would see all this death and destruction brought to their land. He tried to ask, however, Shamus knew what his brother saw was the truth. Good to her word, the mother brought Aidan to Gordon's cave every year. Every year, Shamus was amazed how much the child had grown. By the 4th year, Shamus had hoped his brother had been wrong and his visions would not come true. He smiled as Gordon sat in his rock and spoke with Aidan's mother about plants and how to cook them. The afternoon waned to evening, and Gordon said goodbye to Aidan again. I know you hope my vision's wrong, Shamus. After the news I've been dreading is coming on I'm afraid the news I've been dreading is coming on horseback. Gordon had called his brother. Gordon's vision came true, and the next day an exhausted rider and horse collapsed at the rock where Gordon would sit. Master Druid, a strange army has crossed the water to the east. They are coming bearing war and death, the rider whispered as he died. His horse followed his master into the dark vale short moments later. Gordon looked out over the valley. He knew they had 4 years from this point before this valley would see the feet of the Roman army and the blood they would soak the ground with. Shamus looked at his brother, the master druid, and sadly shook his head. So now it happened, Shamus asked. Not right away. This valley and I will follow the army from across the water in exactly 4 years. You must start building the boat that will take you and the others away from this land. So it won't be just Aidan and me, Shamus asked. No, 6 others will be going with you, plus Aidan. I will tell you more as the time grows near. For now, spend your time building the boat. I have plans you will follow. You must put all your skills into this endeavor, little brother, Gordon told Shamus. Gordon would sit and listen as Shamus would cut the timbers to make the ship that would take him and Aidan away from this land. Winter came to their land. As in all things, time kept marching forward. Shamus watched from his workyard where he was stripping the fallen trees for one of the masts. A stranger walked up to his brother's caves. He didn't know it then, but this was one of the others he would take across the water. Eustace looked at the mountainside. He could see a well-worn footpath leading to the cave where the master druid was said to live. Looking around, Eustace saw a man standing on what looks like a boat watching him. When he turned and looked up the mountain, Gordon stood at the end of the path. Eustace smiled and started up the path towards the man who summoned him away from his masters and teachings. Master Druid, I'm Eustace. You sent word to my master I was to come here? Yes, I did. How's your master? I haven't seen him in years, Gordon said. He is fine, though very disturbed by the reports of the strange army. He is getting reports they seem to be targeting our brothers and sisters. The tide on our land is changing. This wave of men will wash away the Druids, Gordon told Eustace. Shouldn't we fight, Master Druid? Some will, and they will be made examples of. There is a traitor to the land who guides this army. He was once a prince. His siblings forced him into exile when they found out about his proclivities. This army will place him on a throne as a puppet king. This has been shown to me. I called you here to be a part of a small group that will take a journey to the west. West, Master? Is there anything west to the west? There is a great land over the water to the west. That man you see in the workings is my brother. He will sail the boat he is building, and you and the others will go with him, Gordon told Eustace. As they watched Shamus work, as the days turned to weeks, Gordon listened to his brother working. Corden had always sat with his brother and who had the true talent of family. He grew sad when he thought about the past and how their father would beat Seamus. All because he was born with red hair instead of the black of Corden or their father. Seamus had taken some of the worst punishment doled out by their father and never said a word. Then one day, when their father had been to the drink, the old man slipped from the path overlooking the ocean. As the man cried out for help, Seamus was the only one to hear. "Come give your old dad a hand," the father cried out. "You beat me and called me a bastard child my whole life because I had hair like mother and grandfather. Well, it seems by your own words, I am not your son. So fall and be gone," Seamus said as he looked down at the old man clinging to the cliff. Then, before another word could be uttered by either of them, the old man lost his grip on the cliff face and life. Seamus watched as the body of the man who beat and abused him fell to the rocks below. Then the sea washed in to claim its prize. One morning, Corden found his brother sitting on the rock outside the cave. "Good morning, brother. Have you another task for me?" Seamus asked, with a smile. "No. Now we have to wait for the others to arrive. Once here, we will gather all you will need for the voyage, and I will see you off," Corden said as he sat and sipped his tea. "Who are the others?" Seamus asked. "They are druids from other parts of the land." "Well, I want to check the gardens and salt fish for the voyage then. I'll see you in a few days," Seamus told his brother. "Seamus, you know our father was wrong on how he treated you. And if Mother had lived through the bad winter, she would have stopped him. If I had been home, I would have stopped him," Corden said. "I know you would have," Seamus said. "It's a funny thing how the fate stepped in." And then he smiled and started down the path. Corden listened to his little brother as he walked away, knowing once Seamus and the others left Ireland and Anglesey, he would never see them again. Everyone living in Aberdron knew their druid master was sending his brother away. They didn't know Seamus was to head west to the land Corden told them about, the land weeks away by sea. The others in the village watched Seamus walk down the path from his brother's cave. They all knew it wouldn't be long before the druid would send him away. The only thing they couldn't understand was where Seamus and the others, yet to be known, were going and what evil would be turned loose. Seamus collected all he could from the gardens and worked every day salting and smoking fish, enough to last a voyage. Though he didn't know how long the journey his brother was sending him on, how long the journey would be his brother sending him on and the others on, the moon went from being the thinnest sliver to full when two strangers arrived in the village. When they asked to see the master druid, a villager pointed to the top of the hill and hurried away. Corden knew two more druids he called for were walking up the hill. "Master Druid, we received your invitation." A female druid called Kayside said. The male druid who was with her nodded his head. "We met up a few days ago over a fire," Drest said as he sat on the ground. "Oh, that is fine. That boat down there on the shore will be what you leave these shores in. My younger brother will be leading you all to the new land." "Leave the land of our people? Why would you send us away, Master Druid?" Master, Kayside asked. "There's a terrible plague coming our way. This is not a plague of pestilence. This is a plague of men in the form of an army that seems to never run out of death. They will spill over this land from the east. The druids in our knowledge will be cut from the land as wheat is to the scythe. Your names came to me in dreams, and 3 other people must accompany you. So when they arrive, my brother will lead you all. I cannot tell you where it is you will be going. Only when the others come to us, they will not be. Only when the others are coming to us, they will not be long now. So I'm going to stop there, and hope you enjoyed that bit of a reading. That's the book that's going to come out here in a week's time. It's called The Island. And it'll be available, well, everywhere. Goodreads, Barnes & Noble, of course Amazon, and a bunch of other places. So that's it for the night. Tomorrow night, or in a couple days, I should say, not tomorrow night, Thursday, Friday. Friday night, I'm going to have a tale story, one of my stories of when I was in Texas, New Mexico area. Anyways, I'll leave it at that and say have a good night. Okay, bye.